Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're deconstructing a book you have definitely seen, maybe even read, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
So let's just dive right in, because this is a book that has inspired millions of people to get rich, while at the same time being called dangerously misleading by some really sharp critics. So what's the real story? Let's break it down.
Okay, first things first. To really get a handle on this whole debate, you have to understand just how huge this book became. It wasn't just a book, it was a movement.
I mean, we are not talking about some niche finance book here. This was and is a global phenomenon. Over 32 million copies sold, it completely reshaped how a whole generation of people thinks about money.
And what's so fascinating is how divided people are. You've got supporters who say, this book completely changed my life, it's a key to wealth. And then you have critics who say, nope, it's awful, it's a trap for the naive, the guy's a fraud. There is very little middle ground.
So, to understand that controversy, we have to start with why the book got so popular in the first place. What is the core idea that millions and millions of people grabbed onto?
You see, the real power of the book, its secret sauce, isn't in some complicated financial plan. Not at all. It's in a few really simple, really seductive ideas that just flip conventional wisdom on its head. It's about a total mindset shift. And it all boils down to this one simple redefinition. Forget all the accounting jargon you've learned. Kiyosaki makes it dead simple. An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. That's the foundation of everything.
And he uses this one example to just brilliantly hammer the point home. The poor dad view, the one most of us are taught, is that your house is your biggest asset. But the rich dad view, totally different. He says your home is a liability because every month it's just taking money out of your pocket, mortgage, taxes, repairs, without putting any cash back in.
From there, he lays out this roadmap to wealth he calls the cash flow quadrant. The goal, he argues, is to move from the left side, as an employee or someone who's self-employed, over to the right side, as a business owner or an investor. He says that's the path to real financial freedom, and of course, paying way less in taxes.
Okay, so the big philosophy sounds pretty compelling, right? But, and this is a really big but, when you move from that big idea to the specific advice on what to actually do, that's where some serious red flags start popping up.
Many critics point to the actual investment strategies in the book and just say, whoa, this is terrible advice for the average person. We're talking about extremely risky things like gambling on penny stocks, flipping foreclosures with no experience, and maybe most controversially, joining a multi-level marketing company.
And that MLM connection, oh, this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. Turns out the book's initial success may not have been quite so organic. It seems it was deeply, deeply tied in with the world of MLMs.
So here's what was reportedly going on. Leaders in huge MLMs like Amway were buying this book by the thousands. Then they'd push it on their new recruits, their downlines, because the whole message of escaping the rat race was the perfect sales pitch for their own business. The book literally became a recruitment tool.
So this connection to marketing and sales, it gives us a massive clue as to what the real secret behind the rich dad, poor dad phenomenon might be.
I mean, Kiyosaki basically admits it himself. He says in the book that his primary skill isn't being the best writing writer, it's being the best selling writer. It's about sales.
And that leads to this crucial point that a lot of people make. Kiyosaki's most profitable asset, the thing that put the most money in his pocket, wasn't real estate. It was the book itself, a product that sold the dream of wealth perfectly to millions of people.
So after all that, what does this mean for you? If you're trying to build a solid financial future, how should you even think about this book?
You know, probably the most balanced way to approach it is with this advice. Don't treat it like a Bible. Treat it like a collection of ideas. Take what's useful to you and just leave the rest behind. Because some ideas might be valuable, but a lot of them are really questionable.
So the key takeaway for a lot of people is this. Embrace that powerful mindset shift. The focus on acquiring assets that generate income for you, that's golden. But for the rest of it, for the specific methods, it's absolutely vital to be skeptical and to question everything. And for those of you who just want more practical, less controversial advice, the online finance community often points to these alternatives. These books are all widely praised for giving you actionable, solid strategies for building wealth slowly but also steadily.
Ultimately, the rich dad, poor dad paradox isn't just about one book. It forces every single one of us to ask a really critical question. How do we tell the difference between a valuable lesson and a dangerous sales pitch? And after all the hype is gone, what are you going to keep in your financial playbook?